everyone. Welcome to the Diversity Saves Community Showcase. My name is Nekola, my pronouns are she, they, and I am the programming director and your host for today. If you are tuning in to Diversity Saves for the first time, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization made up of passionate creators, actors, and fans from marginalized communities who want to create a means to amplify voices not only in our community, but in the works we consume across the industry. You can always learn more and see what we are up to at diversitysaves.org. As you may have seen when you clicked on the channel, there are ads. We have mostly placed them so that they will not interfere with the interview, but this channel is monetized. Any ads, subscriptions, bits, and things like that do directly benefit our grant program. To date has given out $7,000 in grants to bring projects to life. Today we are joined by the creators and cast of Godkiller, QISMAT, a multilingual actual play production with episodes in Hindi, English, French, Spanish, and Mandarin. This 8-episode series follows the journey of Kala, a trophy and champion of Khamsa, the god. Whoa, I messed up my introduction. See, we do this every time, and then I have to go tell my therapist, and they laugh at me. So anyway, a trophy and champion of Khamsa, the god of Khilona, the planet where all life originates. Through this, Kala's journey intermingles with other Godkillers as they complete their own stories on the planets they belong to. And enough of my talking. Why don't we introduce our guests today? I'm going to start with Aman. Tell us who you are, what you kind of do within the program.
Hello, I am Aman. I go by Aman HK on all social media platforms, pronouns he, him. And if you're just listening to this, you see an Indian man with bespectacle with beard, and for the first time in a long time, he feels he looks cool. Even though Assis just like, maybe not. So I am kind of a YouTuber. I do podcasts, I edit videos, and I'm also writing a game. I GM a lot over at Pathless Tables and other places too as well. And for Qizmat, I am, I guess, kind of what's the term? The originator? No, not the originator. The creator.
Great.
For the actual play, the originator sounds like a god. The creator, the editor, and one of the GMs.
Perfect. Asis. Did I say it right?
No, you did not.
Nope,
It's
I
fine.
didn't.
Nobody
Dang
does.
it. And you've said it like 4 times. I am so sorry.
Um, Hi, I am Alcis. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me most places at lesbianing. I am describe my I'm an Indian woman with glasses and like hair, and I'm wearing a yellow top, and I look cooler than Aman. Um,
But
I,
but she's yearning
um,
all the time.
Shush. Anyway, I'm a TTRPG performer. Sure, yeah. Let's say performer. And I mostly do stuff. I do a lot of stuff over on Patches Tables,
Uh-huh.
um, including a long running campaign, a recent podcast that I've started, and I have other things also that will be happening. I yeah.
Struggled through that.
Next, we have Apollo.
Hello. I thought that it was going to be Jack first, and I thought I had one more person before me, even though you did say in the circle, and I went, yes, the circle. Not what a circle is. Anyway. Hello. My name
What
is
are you, a
Apollo. You can
cop?
find me on the internet. I'm gonna fight you. Don't. I'll find you. Hello, my name is Apollo. You can find me on the internet at Tall Nerd Apollo. I am an Irish-based voice actor, cosplayer, and TTRPG performer and pro GM. Throughout the project of Godkiller Qizmat, I was one of the Godkillers. I did my campaign entirely in Spanish, which was great fun. And I'm a little guy on the internet in general.
I never talked about what I actually do in the show.
The size of a door,
Are you
Yeah,
in
I
the
am.
show?
No, for sure. Yes, I am in the show. Yes, I am the size of a door. Yes, thank you.
No, I was talking about Assis. I don't know.
Oh,
Wait,
okay. Well,
I did mess up my own introduction. Yes, I'm also I play Kala, the God Killer in the Hindi part of the show. Yeah, I will shut up again.
And now, Jack, you've had three examples. Let's see.
This is why I love being last.
Okay, don't ask that.
Hi, I'm Jack. I'm an Asian looking something. I've got big circle glasses and a black formal shirt. I play Mingli from the Mandarin section of the game, and yes, I'm a variety streamer. As long as you don't ask I'm on what I'm doing. Um, and yeah, I'm just really happy to be here. I don't think I'm missing anything.
And I think you look coolest of all.
wow. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck you, Apollo.
Okay.
I didn't even say what I look like. I'm just hot. Just whatever you think when you think someone says they're hot, that's me. That's how I want to live in your mind. Thank you.
I was not prepared for that.
I love that. Physical descriptions is not something that has been presented to us before, so I'm excited to incorporate that now. I am what you think of when you think of a bald non-binary person. That's white. We all look very similar. Anyways, so let's kick it off. This series, just 8 episodes. I don't know how you're fitting so much story into 8 episodes because I haven't even gotten all the way caught up, and it is intense. So we're going to start off with, for those who are not familiar with Godkiller, an amazing game that was created by Connie Chang and Evil Hat. Can you give us a little brief description of what Godkiller is and how you've utilized it within the series?
Sure. Uh, Godkiller essentially is a duet game, uh, which is based on the system powered by the Apocalypse. It's based on it's a PBTA system, duet game where you take on the role of a person who is either chosen or gains the power to kill a god, and they go through various phases, and it's very heavy in the terms of like it deals with heavy topics. Even the moves that a person does in the games are can be really heavy. You don't make a move to like, oh, do you attack a god? Do you hit the god? Actually, no. It's, do you kill a god? It's I automatically okay. It's a story building game where even the player has a lot of agency in how the world is created around them, what happens next, how the people are reacting, how the world around them changes as they go about killing godlings, etc. So it's not just the GM, it's much more of a conversation, I feel, than a lot of other games that are out there. I'm sure there are other games which can do certain aspects of it better, but for the story that we wanted to tell, I felt Godkiller fit best. And it's honestly all thanks to Transplaner, Connie, and C. uh, I started writing this right after Last Hope had came out, and watching it, I'm like, okay, you can do that in an actual play. You can do actual play can be these certain things, and uh, yeah, it just made complete sense to me that Godkiller was going to be the perfect system to say this story, which deals with certain, like, really sometimes really heavy topics, and not heavy topics like, not just like, okay, is it going to be a heavy topic of somebody killing something, or just a worldwide change. It also becomes really personal in a way, as you will see in with Jack's story, with Apollo's story, with Assis's story, which is the longest story in the series, um, with respect to everyone else. Even Mary Paul's story, who's not here in this episode because she's a busy person. She does comic book review, journalism, and all that thing, and she's great, and she's busy all the time. So I'm like, shout out to you. She played the Godkiller in the French episode, which was GM'd by Arsene, and she filled that role because it was initially set for Juicy Garland, but they had some things going on, and they were like they had to drop out. I'm like, that's fine, that's not a problem. So we went ahead and had. Uh, Mary Paul on the show, who played the role of Ron, which is also a very personal story about, you know, your parent who is a god. How do you deal? And your parent who is a god who wants you to die. Uh, I'm like, okay, that's the
That one was
fucking
very intense.
yeah. And the way I said it, it's like, okay, it actually happens like that. In the not a spoiler, but the conversation kind of goes like that in the episode as well. And that's just the second episode.
Sorry.
I don't know if I'm missing anything,
No,
but
that was perfect. I had to deal with a bot in the chat because that's what happens when you're live. No, the that story was one of them that I listened to literally this morning because I've been up for hours, and just there's some spoilers, trickery and losing memory. Oh, that took me for a loop. Anyways, before the next question, I did miss a part of my introduction where I was talking about those live captions down there because they keep timing out. We do use live captioning for accessibility reasons. However, as with most accessibility aids, the technology does still have a ways to go. If you are catching this later in the YouTube VOD, we will have corrected the captions that we upload to YouTube. But for those watching live, I appreciate your patience with them. So, a little bit about the world, 4 worlds that you've created in this little galaxy. I'm curious, did the concept of this area come before God? Because Godkiller is relatively new. Had you started creating that before Godkiller, or was that something that came along when you got more into the idea?
Kind of the concept for Qizmat came much before, like it had set into that I'm going to use Godkiller. So the concept of having 4 different planets, having being part of 4 different realms: heaven, hell, land of dreams, planet of dreams, and the planet of all origin, kind of like an Earth equivalent, which is Khilona, which is where Asis's character Kala is from, and Apollo's character is also from there, but he's technically a dead person. He's who is in hell.
Bro. What? Bro.
Just casually tossed in hell.
Yeah.
Casually.
He's just working away in the mines in hell, and he used to be a part of Khilona. But yeah, him and his brother died. They went to hell. Why? Was the episode, I guess.
It's just like 80s Town.
And
You have no idea.
and I could have easily made it planes, like planes of existence, but I'm like, I like planets and interstellar travel more. So, and it made a lot more sense for me to, since it's part of like a galaxy kind of a thing, and you have a comet going around killing suns, and suns as in the star, killing stars and killing gods. So it made sense to have it set as they are planets. They're not just realms or planes of existence. They are planets where things are going on, kind of like how in the Stormlight Archive, spoilers, you had different planets, and in the Cosmere you had different planets. Some are considered like kind of like a hell, kind of like origin of life, etc., etc. So it's not inspired by that, but when I read that part later, I'm like, Brandon Sanderson stole my idea.
That's an excellent
Accusations.
reference. And even more spoilers, each of those planets having their own god. So of the planets, this was because I haven't even talked about how you also have a show called Above the Table, where you're interviewing some of the people on your own channel. But of the planets, how much of it was your idea, and how much did you allow your other GMs who play the other gods, shouting out Arsene,
Arsene.
who did the French episode with
Marie Paul.
yeah, little fly flew in my face. Tomas, who did the Spanish episode with Apollo, and Spectre, who did the Mandarin episode with Jack. And adding secondly to that question, how much about the worlds did you, the players, know when you were creating your characters and getting ready to start your episode?
Okay, I'll quickly answer that, and I will hand it over to my players. I had outlines, just outlines for here are a couple of truths of this world. It's ruled by this god, and the planet exists in this way. And here are some spoilers which you're not supposed to say to the players, when building it with them. So Adrian was supposed to be the original GM for the Spanish episode, but life happens, and Thomas who came in and took that role and built that world alongside Apollo. But Adrian did most of the world building in the first place, and the world building for the god as well. So I just gave them like a couple of notes, like, here are a couple of truths of this world, and I'm not going to touch the rest of it. You make that world your own, because I do not want to impose and like my own certain biases when giving you ideas for that world. I gave them like, hey, make the name of the god in your own language, because the original name for the gods are in kind of like in our Arabic names or Arab names. And I said, like, if there will be a very big disconnect if you don't have multiple languages for gods, because that's true of our world as well. We have multiple names for multiple names for just one god, so it makes sense for them to also have like multiple names. So yeah, I just gave them that, and they took it from there. And I love it. Yeah. Assis and I did a bit of world building, but I really actually want to know more about Apollo and Jack.
From my one, okay, I unmuted myself. Great, awesome, perfect. I had to sneeze twice, and I was like, I'm not doing that straight into the mic. So, like you mentioned, it was a very interesting one with myself, because it was first Adrian, who I made my character with, who I got like the whole background information on the world, and then Tomas came in, and then we had another series of calls where we were going over like, okay, what parts are still going to remain the same, what parts are going to be changed up and given a different flavor, and how consistent do we want to keep my character to what it was originally? Because Godkiller in its inception, in its game design, is so heavily a duet that a character that you make for a game with one GM might not be the best character to take to another GM if your attitudes towards storytelling, if your goals for this specific story aren't aligned. So there was a lot of alignment that needed to be brought up, but at the end of the day, not much changed about my character, because we were already on the same page. Tomas said, okay, here's some things that I'm gonna zero in more on these certain aspects, and here's some updated info to what you had before. But again, I think I knew I knew most everything, because this isn't a spoiler. This is said in the first 5 minutes. I'm straight up dead. My character was experiencing their afterlife, and their afterlife was one of working eternally in subterranean mines. and the god of that world was like in charge of the overseers of that mine. So it would be really hard, a really big suspension of disbelief for me to go in and say, I've been in this afterlife so long that I don't remember how much time I've been dead. I don't know anything about the world building of this place. But no, I knew pretty much everything. I of like the power structures that were above me. But then what became interesting to learn about was the emotional depth of that, because I knew there are people above me, there are structures of power. But then when we started to zero in on, but what's the emotional state of the god, of the person at the top, someone who you haven't interacted with because you've only interacted with their minions, with their hands. And that became where a lot of the the experimentation and the conversations between myself and Tomas went, because we were just trying to navigate those. How can we bridge the emotional gap on something that on a authority level is a literal world apart? And that was a lot of fun.
Silence.
Jack.
Somebody do something.
That's how I sign off.
Was that okay? I don't know. I don't know where the. I'm autistic. Give me a break.
Me
So
too.
Same.
I guess it's my turn. So it's actually really funny because when I created my character, I had no name. I didn't know what he was. I had what he looked like. And I went into the world building session with Spectre going, so I kind of need help to flesh this guy out because I have a vision and no meat, and I want to make sure that he fits in the world. So give me what you
Meat.
have so we can build something. And it was really fascinating because a lot of what Spectre actually used is based off of mythology, which I literally wrote a thesis for back in China. And I'm like, oh no, we've touched onto my hyperfixation. And I sort of inserted myself into the world building, not on purpose. I just got really excited because Spectre would be like, okay, so this is kind of the idea what I have, and I'm just like, what if? And we literally went from a few lines to a whole massive document of just adding on things about mythology and how to get that to fit in on things. And then we decided, we're going to switch things up just a little bit because I'm actually born and bred in South Africa. And a lot of my history, like I was still alive when apartheid was a thing. Well, I was born in it. And a lot of its aftermaths was kind of like what I grew up, was the country sort of fixing itself. And we had a lot of learning about that in history, so that impacted on me a lot. And quite a bit of that actually made it into the world building, which made it that much more real and visceral for me. And I think by the end of like the second or third session world building, we're like, okay, we need to stop this and actually create my character because I still only have an aesthetic, which was a lot of fun. Mingli only got his name, I think, practically just before we started recording.
I think minutes before you started recording.
Yeah, like, do we have a name for him? No. Oh,
You had a name for him, and then you just like, I had a part of a name.
It's not important. I'll find a new one.
Oh, I love that. Speaking of character design, there is fantastic character art. So, quick shout out looking at the document that I have, that the character art was done by Meghna.
Meghna Menon, Soul Stuff
awesome.
Junkie on Instagram.
Yes. They were just, the art was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
It
Anyways, go ahead.
is.
Can I share something funny
Yes.
about my interaction with this beautiful artist? So they were asking me about like what if I have like an ace, like what does Mingli looks like, and I'm like, I cosplayed him. I have cat ears, I have cat tails, I have a whole kimono, I have like an entire outfit with complete with jewelry and makeup,
Sounds
and a
like
wig that was styled. And I sent the picture to the artist. Like, oh,
I love that.
well,
Well, I guess, yeah, you could just use your picture.
yeah. Sadly, I did get incredibly overwhelmed with just life in general. So when we were recording, I didn't have the entire cosplay on, just like bits of it, which made me very sad because I put way too much time putting that cosplay together to end up not using it.
Let me just say, it would have put Assis in such a complex, like, oh my god, they are so beautiful.
I was already in a complex. The moment I saw the photo of that cosplay, I was in a complex. Like I'm
Yeah,
like,
I specifically
that's
sent
in
the.
one, that's in two
Yeah.
episodes, and he's doing like all of this. And what am I doing? I'm putting on makeup and making sure my earrings match the character. That's it.
You don't need the extra layers to be amazing.
Agreed.
I mean, you did put effort, Assis. To be fair, you did put effort with like just a little bit of things, like putting on some like a jewelry which reflected the god color was the trophy of.
Yeah,
So
my
those
God,
things matter
criteria
too.
choices.
Those things matter too. There was wasn't there a jewelry piece, a necklace of a sword?
I do have, yeah, did. So, honestly, that one is wild because that was a few episodes. Wasn't I supposed to be talking about world building?
Okay,
Oh,
world
oops.
building.
Eh,
Assis,
no,
did
to
we do
finish
world
the
building?
tangent, there is a necklace with a sword on it that I literally after we'd already recorded a few couple episodes, my mom just randomly gave to me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, great, this is perfect.
This work.
Aw,
World building.
love
When
that.
I started like when after like Aman got roped me in, he sent me a Canva document
Yes.
and like a couple of small write-ups and stuff. And I looked through that Canva document so much. And I think this was like just before we started like actually working on Kala. Like he also there was like a 2-page document about Khilona and about that whole world.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't think I got my caption's gone as well.
Yeah,
Ay, ay, ay.
I would.
In the meantime, when you're refreshing it,
Yeah. So
shout out to
no
C
me time.
for telling us to hey, at least telling me like, hey Aman, maybe write a thesis statement for your show
Yeah.
and send it to your your
I think
players and
it
GMs.
was very helpful. Like
And I'm like,
I
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so I did that.
it was very helpful. And I think the thing is because you were the one working on Khilona, there was just so much you had on it.
Yeah,
Um, and but yeah, I think there was some stuff that we did work on. Like I feel like Aman had a lot of the nitty-gritties figured out. But the first time we talked, like when we were then, like we did like a practice session and all, I feel like there's some things that got fleshed out just based on how I built up Kala, I guess. Like I, I don't know. I don't know how much of an influence I ultimately had on Khilona.
it did. And another thing, again, shouting out C from Transpainer is that they said to, hey, maybe do a non-canonical session, like just do a session with your player, make it non-canonical. It doesn't have to be, but it helps you figure out, okay, what are the intricacies, how is the relationship working with the GM and the player, what are certain choices you are able to make, what are some things that you're able to push, some limits that you're able to push, where are we going with this. So that helped so much. I think the other players, Jack and Apollo, you would agree as well. Like
Oh yeah,
having to do a
yeah.
like non-canonical session, like help figure out the character in your head instead of just, okay, we do a character building and then we record.
It was
So
actually for me. It was a really interesting experience because there's a weird interaction with TTRPGs when you do it for public consumption for an audience, where what counts as canon are the things that the audience gets to see. But my like non-canon session was only non-canon because it wasn't recorded, because in world it was canon, because my Godkiller's
Oh,
origin was
oh
that my Godkiller was the mistake, I shouldn't have been the Godkiller of the world. It was meant to be my older brother. But the one shot that we did, I played as my older brother leading a failing rebellion and getting executed for it.
I fucking did
So
not know
then-
that.
Interesting.
Oh,
It's wild.
yo.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
we played as the older brother taking out a guard, starting a prison riot, and then getting like cornered in a massive chamber with these like the overseer like giants causing like a cave-in, and then him being captured and brought to an execution yard, and the brother singing a like song of revolution that echoed throughout the halls of the mines. And then that is what sort of we picked up with when we actually played the session, was the
So-
younger brother being like, I can't get the song of my brother out of my head. He gave me something before he went. I am holding too much and I can't take this. And it informed not only like it helped me get used to not only the game system, but literally getting me into the mind space of I shouldn't be doing any of this. They killed my brother, and my brother was the bravest person I've ever known. So it was great.
So this is all bonus content available somewhere, right? Like,
In my brain.
Recorded.
In my brain. Sorry.
Was not
That's the thing,
recorded.
it's
Was not recorded.
non-canon because the audience didn't see it, but it is canon because I did it.
so
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
And that was great. That was great.
and to
Yeah.
add to that fact, Apollo's character is a coward.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at one of the notes I sent to the artist. I've just been like, sad eyes, make him a coward,
Sad
make him
eyes.
wiry, make him weak.
Oh,
Oh,
Now I want to know what notes I
And
get.
he has sad eyes. Like, I mean, like those are like the sad eyes.
This PC and a PC that I'm gonna start playing like later today in another stream, you can tell that I made them while I was finishing my master's degree because it's always like he's a pathetic man, he's so sad and tired. I was like, I get it.
oh my
I can see where I was at.
I see the vision.
that kind of leads into the next question, which some of this has been touched on because there were such full great answers about the world building. But the next question, primarily for our Godkillers, is that when you're creating the characters, how much of yourself do you think bled into your character, and how did, as you were recording, did your characters change in a way maybe that you didn't expect, or based on the actions that occurred?
All Godkillers collectively say, "Do not perceive me."
Oh no, that's the whole point.
Who's going fast?
I'll just do a real quick one. Like I said, I think your mental state when you create your character, I think bleed is something that you can't 100% avoid, but you can recognize, control, and mitigate. Is something that coming from like the actor's perspective, this isn't a requirement when you are portraying a role that you see yourself in the role, but sometimes it helps if there's like a kernel of truth about the character that either is something that you recognize in yourself diminished or expanded. So when I was approached for this project, it was so much fun. When I was making the character, I was in the middle of writing my master's thesis. I was writing it on something that I had never worked on before properly, and I didn't think was very good. And there was a lot of like an inferiority complex and just like, oh God, this isn't going well. And so I just kind of zeroed in on that, and I was like, nah, I think my character's a mistake. I think that he feels weak. I was just like, let's put all those feelings there, because I know that the end goal of this, in the way that I've structured him, is sort of like an Orpheus figure, is that he's going to, I was like, one of the avenues in my mind going forward was this character will probably try to lean on the people around him for support. And I was like, that's a reminder that I could do within my actual life. So sometimes you use play to accentuate or diminish elements of yourself, and sometimes you use play to remind yourself of things. Like I was like, I'm going to make a character who thinks he's nothing, and remind him that when he stands on the shoulders of those around him, he can be a giant. And then it worked.
Oh.
Who's gonna follow that?
I'm gonna just say that is absolutely fantastic. Getting to, especially when you're struggling with something, getting to put it into a character, and then using that to overcome. We made jokes in chat about my therapist earlier. Literally, the third session with my therapist, she said, "All we're doing today is we're going to go through your most recent D&D characters, um, and talk about them, so I can figure out what you're trying to work through right now."
Oh,
That's so
Oh,
real.
God.
I
It is so real. It is so helpful, so cathartic, but it's also not required. It is escapism for a reason. Like, you can do something completely different. But yeah, anyways.
my therapist will have to waterboard that information out of me. Yes.
I mean, if my therapist started doing that, it would be, oh, God. Some of these characters.
She would ask for more money.
You're like, he's an
I-
evil,
I-
hot
I don't-
old man. It's like, don't look at that.
Don't look at why I played a 3-foot tall goblin and then immediately a furbolg. Like, the two complete opposites. Or not. Yes. Anyways.
You're onto
Okay.
something. I can feel it.
I have answers. I have so many answers.
Yes.
I would have initially said that I only put in like 50% of myself into color. But in hindsight, it's a lot more. It's just that there is stuff that I was making in color that I did not realize was a part of me. Um, so like there's a lot of I wanted color to play with a lot of shit that just has been stuff that's a part of my life, like rebellion, love, some amounts of jealousy. Oh, captions again.
And even captions.
This
And even
this
captions.
Scene, I'm so sorry.
It's just solid captions. It's fine. It's captions. It's just captions. Um, and there's stuff about like othering and stuff like that. Like I think I chose her as this idea of the trophy. And I don't think I thought that far into it at first, but slowly I did realize that like this idea of being, people wanting to see you as what they think you are and not what you really are, which it's just a very pervasive theme in my life that I thought was kind of over, but still kept going on because, like, with trans stuff, it's like I got over a lot of this shit ages ago, but then family stuff keeps happening, and then I realized that even with like neurodivergence, that's a big thing that I struggled with my parents a lot. Is them refusing to like just that this is going too deep. I might go way too deep into therapy on this. But the other thing is that I filled Kala with a lot of anger. And so like I was looking at the descriptions that I gave Meghna for her art, and I said personality wise, Kala is outwardly polite and courteous most of the time, but burning with anger and jealousy and desire inside. And okay, I'm not usually outwardly polite and courteous. I don't give a fuck anymore. But the thing is, what I realized is I am also burning with anger all the time, and this is something that's been like I my relationship with anger is something I've been dealing with therapy a lot in the past year, and I did not realize it, and I was like I made Kala such an angry person, and I was like that part is not like a cease at all, and then oops. Um, but there was also some evolution. I think just the choices she was presented with. God, what can I say without spoilers for the remaining episodes?
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
it's it's just she's been presented with choices, and I think the way, like, oh, even in the anger, one difference is the way that Kala always shows the anger, right? Kala is quick to react and to show that anger and act on it, which I am not at all as a person. And yeah, a lot of the choices she made, I found myself like later reflection, realizing that yeah, Cease would never make some of those choices. Um, so yeah, she definitely started off like somewhat a Cease. slipped away from me a little bit just in her natural, like going through the absolute bullshit that Avar decided to put her through, just traumatized to no end, like just wrung out like a kitchen towel, like oh my god. Um, and then in hindsight, I find that there's actually more of C's left in her than I thought.
I had an specific question about your character because your character is a middle child. And I always think child placement is a very interesting thing in character creation. Um, was that a very cognizant choice, or was it just kind of trying to create the little that was you just picked it?
It kind of just came later. Like I hadn't really thought of her placement. There's like I think in the non-canon shoot with it, she was just the younger of two, right? Or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah, and then later, like that was kind of just more of Ahan was just riffing, and I'm sorry, my dog is barking. That
It's
was
okay.
more of Ahan just decided to make, and we were kind of he was asking me for input and stuff, and I was like, yeah, cool, one older, one younger works. Like I am not a middle child myself, so like it kind of just happened.
All right, Jack.
Um, I went on a whole journey with those two. So Mingli, like I said, was a character that kind of came almost as an afterthought because we were a little bit too invested building the world, which is a lot of fun. But I kind of realized because I had so much effect on how the world was and the problems that my character faced, my character, as a result of this world, ended up being a lot more like me than I expected it to. I was actually thinking, I was talking about Ming Li to a friend just after recording, and I was like, oh, he angry like me. Oh no. And also, I agreed to do this back when I was a lot healthier. And during sort of the recording to through the world building to the recording, I had several very, very painful pain flare ups, which left me basically crippled. And a lot of just having to push through that to continue with this project made it into Ming Li as well. The very beginning of the episode was great because he came in, you saw him, he's in bed, and he just wants to stay in bed. He will go and do everything so that he can go back to bed. Like that's all he wants in life.
Yeah.
He's
So
done.
relatable.
Just wants a good place to sleep. Just wants to.
He has
Oh,
such a
I'd kill
pretty
for a nap.
nest. Pretty blankets, very soft. He found the best pillows and cushions, and you want him to go out into that shitstorm? Why? And a lot of that, I think, at some point he decides, like, because he was also hiding from his problems. So a lot of it was finding that moment in the middle of game where he clicks and he's like, "Oh, I'm never going to be able to get back to my comfy little spot until I deal with this. Guess we're killing a god now. I don't know how, but we'll do something," which is great.
Shout out to Tubao.
Yeah. Oh god, I love best.
You'll see next week.
Yeah,
Everyone
I
else.
think my favorite bit is a lot of worrying that Spectre's doing great because my character's such an angry, horrible shit. I had to be like, ooh, are these NPCs okay? Like, are they? Is my DM okay? Is my GM all right? Was that too harsh? Let me check with you real quick. But yeah, that was
It's also a horny episode.
sorry?
Wait,
also-
we could have
Yeah,
been horny in this? I was
It's
just
also a
sad.
horny
Horny was an
episode.
option?
Horny?
No, we're
This
talking about
was
this
also a
on
horny
the
episode?
Stream It Live. It's
Horny.
horny.
Horny?
Well, it's me. I will either play a character that is too good
Hey.
for the world, is a tired old man, or is a very beautiful but horny thing. So those are my three
All
types.
sounds
I
like
only
horny people to be.
horny people.
I was
Some
like,
people
that was an option.
Tinder. Yeah, I get it. Don't worry. Yeah.
I thought I did a story about melancholy. You tell me I could have been down bad? God damn.
Yeah. You could be melancholy and down bad.
Oh,
Have
believe me, the
layers.
player was. I was
One
like,
thing's got downside.
and I run.
I had a tiger in a bunny outfit, Apollo.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, you're so
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Hawkins!
Yeah.
yeah,
I
you're so
I
right.
love that.
And I couldn't do anything because I was an angry thing. I was like, great, this is wonderful.
Amon,
I
we
love
need to
this.
re-record my episode. I'm changing a lot about
See now,
Jose.
season 2. Can I just
Yeah.
start a
No,
petition now for
we're
season
just
2?
gonna season two. It's just all horny. With season two, it's just season one re-recorded, but everything is like 10 times hornier.
It's Godkiller,
If
but then
season
like record scratch killer gets scratched out and it just gets fucking.
season 2 is Qizmat After Dark.
Yes. Oh my goodness. All right. Next question. We keep coming into these really interesting segues too, because as we talk about checking in to make sure that your NPCs are okay and well horny, we'll throw that in there. This series does deal with, as we were talking about in the beginning, heavy topics, sacrifice, death, things like that, and Diversity Saves is really, really big on safety tools and things like that. So, how did you all manage sort of making sure everybody was still comfortable at the table, especially when it's only 2 people? But safety tools wise, decompressing, checking in, things like. Oh, another one.
He was in my mouth.
Why?
He was in your.
What?
Horny. There we go. Okay.
That's getting quoted.
You did it. Anyways, that was the question. If anybody heard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, Personally, I'm a huge fan of Lines and Veils, and but apart from Lines and Veils as well, doing a check-in just before recording as well, like, hey, what's the feeling? What do you want more of? What do you want less of? What are the and as at least I can speak for Asis and I, because we have done like few sessions together, going through, okay, these are the certain story beats that we are looking at for these episodes, because it's not a sandbox system, it's not a sandbox game. It's I mean, you're co-building a narrative together, and since this is a recorded thing and we are working under time constraints, we can't really make like 4 hour long actual play episodes for this one. We can, but it's hard to get through a 4 hour actual play in English. I don't know if anybody's going to sit for 4 hours in Hindi. I'm very honest about that. So, like, we have a time limit. There's a certain time limit that we can extend to maximum. But okay, these are certain things that we need to hit to. But what do you not want in this, apart from Lines and Veils? Lines and Veils is fine to just give me an idea to make up a story. But there are still things which can come up in a game, like maybe I did not know I would not like that. But we also talk about how hurt do you want to be? Do you want me to make it really fucking tragic for you? And you can say, like, I know this is going to be tragedy involved, but I do not want to be that tragic. So I'm like, that gives me an idea, like, okay, I can dial it back. So those are some, because even in the first session, I think I asked Aziz, what's the level of hurt do you want in this? And she said like 5. And I'm like, okay, I have to dial some things back. There was still hurt in it. There were some still people who got their neck cracked. But it could have been worse.
I was
It
so
could have been a
sad.
lot.
Love level of
I was so sad that we got like 3 seconds of Abby before you killed. Sorry, spoilers.
well,
3
well.
seconds of Abby and then Abby's dead.
Abby was a
That's good news
surprise.
for you. That's good
Abby
news
was
for you.
Abby was a surprise because she wasn't casted in the show. In when we recorded, it was just me playing as Shikaran.
I got
But
0 seconds of Abby. I had to deal with this guy.
yeah,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, and I acted out Shikaran getting her neck dragged. I didn't put that in the show because it wasn't a like nice visual. But I spoke with Abby and I'm like, hey, Abby, do you want to be a person uh, be in this game? Your character dies in like 3 dialogues brutally by this asshole. But I really want you to be in this show. And I told her, do you want to do it in Dine Bazad, which is a Navajo language? I'm like, do you want to do it in that language? Because it is a multilingual project. And the world of Khilona is like pretty multilingual as well, even though we do the episode in Hindi. So, and she was completely like, yeah, let's fucking do it. And she was all down for whatever stupid shit that I was, throwing at the wall. And like, hey, do you want to die? Hey, do you want to come back and say a message from the afterlife later? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Love TTRPGs where you can just message people and be like, "Hey, do you want to die?" And the other person going, "Yeah."
Literally me
yeah.
and Tomas.
It's-
Literally me and Tomas. Because I was like, well, when he came to it, he was like, how deadly do you want this to be? I said, I'm already dead and I'm in the punishment afterlife. Brother, hit me. And it was great because one of the things I love about TTRPGs is you expose yourself to emotions that you won't get in your everyday life. I work reception for a gym. Nobody's trying to kill me there that I know of. So when I go to a gaming table, when I go to Tomas and then we're playing through like these, like, hey, there are monsters in the dark and they want to get you. You're there like, I'm gonna pee right now. But it also gives you like the fun of being a little bit of a little shit goblin, because you could be like, you can't kill me, I'll kill you. And it's great. It's so much fun. On the safety tool side of thing, the story that we were telling was very inspired by colonialism and the effect it can take on a community just being crushed by an oppressive power. The metaphor was barely there. We all saw what happened. It was great, but that was a really interesting thing to work around, because in a lot of TTRPGs, like in a lot of TTRPG tables, very explicit and overt classism, very explicit and overt colonialism. Like, my guy was literally working in the mines, and working is being generous with the term. So those sort of things, you have to be really careful about how you bring them into a TTRPG. And the way that we did it, it was like, well, you can't punch down. So the only way we're telling this story is if there's a potential for this to be a story of revolution and rehabilitating a community. And it ended up being that. But I was, because we had these conversations, I was fully comfortable with me dying and it being, and help and hope ain't coming. But it just comes down to the conversations and being like, where are you willing to go? Where are you willing to explore? And because it's a TTRPG, there's an element of chance. Are you okay if it won't pan out? And just having those conversations really helps.
Yeah, I like that last part a lot.
Yeah, yeah, obviously, like, death is a very good conversation to have before. And I feel like hurt level is something I have so much respect for Aman. I pray. I have so much
Respect for
respect for
Aman.
Aman. It's hard for me to say. I have a lot of respect for Aman for introducing me to hurt level, because I want everyone to use hurt level. I mean, okay, also it sounds very BDSM-y at first, but I mean the overlap between TTRPG and BDSM is real. Um, I love Hurt Level. Hurt Level changed my life. Like, I mean, we obviously had a lot of conversations about the tone of the thing and stuff that's happening to Kala, stuff that's happening to people around Kala, all of that. And but Hurt Level just allows us to session by session just figure stuff out. And I've gone through all sorts of mental ups and downs in the time that we recorded Qizmat, right? Like, I don't I don't remember when we finally started with the first episode. Was it before or after all the major trauma in my life?
I
Do
have
you, do
no
you remember?
I have no fucking clue. I can't.
I,
My
I,
memory's
I'm,
shit.
I'm trying to remember, but basically, I had a very bad December and January, and I think that was either just before we started recording or like after one or two episodes into
No,
recording.
it was before
No,
recording. We started recording, I think, in March.
Okay,
Of
makes
this
sense.
year?
I don't know. Yeah.
Go, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, so there was a lot, but I had times in the middle as well. I fell down some stairs at one point, at 2 points actually. I fell downstairs 2 points in the middle of recording Qismat. Once the day we were recording the finale. So it having that, I usually ask for really high hurt level, but there was I think one episode in the middle where I literally was like, okay, I can't take a lot today. Let's bring a lower hurt level. And it worked. I think that was like the second episode of mine. I'm not sure. I have
I
no memory.
Yeah, I think it was the first episode.
No, it was the first. Still fine. I think we lowered it more for the second.
Did we? I guess. Okay, I guess.
I
I
don't
think we
know.
did.
I just remember there was at one point I was really down and I was like, I still want to
We
do
may
this,
have.
but yeah,
We may have. Yeah.
because the thing is, the only thing is that, and it's very different from doing like longer term APs, not pre-recorded, preset story APs, is that Kismet had a direction to go and a story to tell. Um, and I mean, there was a lot that we had to shape there, but fact was, it did have, we knew we had this many episodes to do this and tell this, and
Mm.
there was stuff that had to happen. Um, so I was also slightly making sure that whatever level of hurt I said still accounted for allowing us to progress forward in this story. But it still worked out really good. So
Yeah. Refresh your captions.
I just did already in the middle of
Yes,
talking. I
you
have
did. A thing that I am probably going to submit to Caption Ninja is that it is only happening with those who have a non English accent. So I think that has something to do with it, and I'm going to say that to them. And I'm sorry if that was a little too heavy, but I think that the
Oh,
captioning
it's
is.
so real.
I
Hey,
think that is
Caption
what is
Ninja, do we need to have a
happening.
conversation?
I think that's
Sometimes
what's
you really
happening
Not
just
a
with
have to
that.
beef with
criticism.
software. I remember in a lecture we were doing things about like programs that you could do like motion tracking, and they showed off this one guy who was doing electronic music and he had a white glove on and he was doing stuff. And then the lecturer said, yeah, it doesn't work as well with black gloves. And I could just see him look at me, and the rest of the class all just went, no, please don't look at him. Please don't look at him. And I went,
We gotta call it out. That's the point. All right. This conversation has been fantastic, and I purposefully prioritized questions so that anything I didn't get to, I could say go to listen to above the table, because some of the things that I had originally put in the question list are discussed in your episode with Steve about this being an ambitious project and a first of its kind, and I am so excited. Side note: when Steve called it ambitious, I did kind of think like, didn't he do Pantsless Pride like every year? I don't know. I don't know if we, but this was absolutely fantastic. And the last question I want to ask before we get to, and I know that we're running towards the end of our time.
Can I just say something real quick, because
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to talk?
Oh my gosh, I thought you did. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, it's okay. I was just kind of waiting my turn. I don't really have much to add. Everything that has been said, but I do want to say Spectre was really, really good with sort of checking in about what cannot be said during world building. It's like, oh, I'd like to touch on this and this topic. How comfortable are you with that? Which generally with me is an open slate up. Yeah, go for it. You're not going to hurt me more than I already hurt myself, so let's go. But I love having those sort of open conversations, and that can lead into a conversation about BDSM, but I won't go there because I have self-control. But yeah, I had a really great experience with Spectre, and that was great.
I love that. All right. And again, I'm sorry for interrupting you. We've been just going. And okay, so the last question I want to ask before we do any sort of outro, because as I just briefly kind of said, this is sort of a first of its kind with using the doing it in multiple languages. So, what, if any, are some things that you like, some advice you would want to give to another creator who is interested in trying something like this? Amon's camera. Oh, I'm ask. I just realized that Amon walked away, and I'm sorry. So
I'm not
I'll
just talk
ask.
for 2 minutes. It's
I'll pose the question to the rest of you. Um, what advice would you give any sort of creator who's wanting to try something even remotely similar? Because we definitely want to get more non-English speaking shows out there. That's kind of the point, to decolonize this space. So what do you have?
I will say, if it's all right, if nobody else wants to go, um, one of the things that really, because obviously I don't know Godkiller, and I never worked with Spectre. One of the best things that really got me into doing this is that I could draw on a lot of culture that I never could before. It's okay to bring in sort of that personal thing in, even if you don't see any representation of it anywhere else. I am very lucky to not be a professional TTRPG player, but still somehow get into games every other month somehow. And of all the games that I've played, it's incredibly westernized, if that makes sense. So being able to do something where I can be like, oh, I can look at all of my experiences and mythology that I absolutely adore and actually ask for that to be in the game is going to be the key into getting you excited about doing something new like this, I think.
You first.
okay. So I I like to like literally we were just dueling like I mean I do echo what Chad said. Like I think the fact that we were playing in this very clearly Indian inspired like atmosphere and world with all these characters with like it's not like I've not played Indian characters with Indian names before, but it just the setting, the names, everything around me that did help. I think one thing that like the biggest advice I would give is lately just talk to your GM in the language that you plan on playing in. Um, because yeah, I mean maybe it helped that Aman and I had not talked that much before Godkiller. Like we played one game together, we had talked that much. We started talking in Hindi a lot, and I
Yeah.
know a bunch of other Indian TTRPG players, right? On Panthers, we have a bunch of people from India. I talk to a lot of them regularly. I mostly talk to them in English. With Aman, we just started talking in Hindi more, and I tried to make an effort that, like, instead of slipping into just English, which you do just because this is a space, I try to talk in my more natural English. Like, Hindi English mix is how I talk to most of my friends, like here. And so I was trying harder to like just make an effort to actually slip into that and reach that level of comfort with random internet friend who is now GMing a massive, ambitious series for me. And I think it really helped. I think just reaching the level of comfort because, like, okay, there's no sugarcoating. It is not easy because you are entirely used to playing. I've been playing for years. I've been streaming for like 3+ years. I'm entirely used to doing this in English. I've never done anything like doing it in Hindi. And that's just a language itself has such a different context for me. It's not easy. There's a lot of challenges. All the game text is in English, so then we have to still work around that. It is a very different experience than playing in English. But yeah, you just have to, I don't know, I guess make an effort to work at it more and like yeah, talk to your GM and eventually it just kind of slips in and then it's like I'm surprised. Everybody I know is surprised because I'm not known for being a very Hindi talking person. It's not my first language. It's technically not my native language either. I've just grown up speaking it my whole life. Everybody I've told about it in real life was shocked that I'm doing a whole series in Hindi. And yet I think we pulled it off marvelously. So
I want to add real quick because I was thinking it and I realized I didn't actually say it out loud. is so I was born in South Africa, and I was mocked a lot growing up for being Asian, and it made me not like Mandarin. I would avoid any chance speaking Mandarin. So being able to do this online and kind of like getting over the oh no, Chinese is weird, and actually having fun and enjoying doing this in my language, it was really cathartic.
You know what's wild? I had that same relationship with Hindi for the exact opposite reasons, Jack.
Oh, okay.
Because growing up, everyone is speaking Hindi and being bad at speaking Hindi and not knowing Hindi as much as other people because we didn't really speak it as much in my house. I got bullied for not speaking Hindi properly and enough. And
Oh,
I started hating Hindi and had a horrible relationship with it until like well into like college.
oh no. I
Damn.
mean, I have that now that I'm in Taiwan, but I feel
Same, same, but different.
yeah.
I think, oh God. So I grew up in Spain. I split the difference throughout my life between like living in Spain and living in Ireland for like different amounts of time, different whatever. So I never got to learning Irish properly. That is a goal of someday learn it well enough that I can either start incorporating it into TTRPGs or straight up do a full thing in Irish. But what I can speak to, so I can't speak to things on like the cultural linguistic level as much, but I can speak to things on a project management level, which is advice that I should follow more myself. Don't call me a hypocrite. I'm a little guy. This sign can't stop me because I can't read.
Says the one that's the size of a door.
I never said how big of a door. It could be this big. Anyway, just do it. Just if you know, there's a thing with storytelling. I did my whole thesis in philosophy on the philosophy of experience. Even if two people experience the same story or the same event, your telling of it will be entirely your own. The stories that you want to tell, you cannot wait for somebody else to tell them because you are the only person that's going to be able to tell your stories. Not necessarily about your life story, but the stories that live in your little mind. So just start telling them. What if nobody watches? Just start telling them. What if my project is too ambitious? Worst thing people can do is say no, and then you find other people or you do it yourself. What if it doesn't end up nominated for awards like Godkiller QISMAT? Well, you did it. And you don't do it for the accolades. You do it because the creative human spirit within you says there's a story that needs to be told and we are the person to say it. And it's like, I've been very fortunate to play TTRPGs with incredibly talented people. I mean, just look at everybody here. But if I played with just me and 3 friends and nobody saw them, they were never recorded, and if nobody ever knew that we played them, I would still be so happy because the stories got out somehow. And it's just the speed bump of the most difficult part from going to idea to project is saying, I'm going to start working on this. And that once you get over that, just do it. Just do it. What's the guy? I know that's yeah, him. You know who I'm talking about.
Shia LaBeouf, yeah, he's Shia LaBeouf.
The lad
Yep.
himself.
And suddenly
Yeah,
you see
just
him.
do it. Like,
Can I, real quick before Amon goes, I just want to add on to Apollo's that, like, even if only a couple people watch it, I'm going to use the big names because it's more commonly said, but like, the number of people who have posted on TikTok or come out and said anything like, I didn't realize people like me played D&D until I saw Lou Wilson and until I saw Erica Ishii. Like, that is, even if only 100 people or only 5 people, like, people want to see and they want to hear your stories and they want to see things like that's kind of the whole purpose of Diversity Saves. And so I'm very excited that I'm very happy you said that because that's a big deal. Sorry. Aman, did you hear the question when you walked away?
I absolutely did not.
Okay, so the question, As our last question of the day is, we want we want to encourage more actual plays and things of this nature in multi languages. Um, and so, what advice would you give somebody who is looking to go out and start a project that is along the same vein or similar?
Uh, I would say accessibility is, well, two things actually. Uh, Coming from a person who has worked in marketing, filmmaking, and now uh, is doing actual plays here and there. So, two things. One, is it accessible? Do you have proper captions? Do you have captions in English? Because, like it or not, even though with the history of the English language, it is still the language that more, at least a common group can, read, or at least have some accessibility to that. So is it accessible? If you're doing it in Hindi, or maybe if somebody is doing it in German, that's great. Is it accessible to people who can't speak a lick of it? Because I see in Twitch there are D&D groups which are playing in completely in German or in some other language. They're doing it, but I have no idea what's going on. I want to watch them. I'm happy that they're doing it, but I have also like no idea what's going on. And we have tried, and Jack knows, we have tried our best to incorporate, so that everything is properly captioned in English, and translating is a huge mess. Um, we have utilized all non-generative AI resources to generate captions, and Google Translate. They say it's not, but we still, that was the only place that we could go and use it to translate it. So everything was translated via Google Translate, and it sucks. So a lot of it was had to be like manually, typed out even in Hindi, because I'm like, that's not what I said. That's exactly the opposite of what I said. So there's things like that. Is it accessible? Second thing is, it's if somebody's watching in a different language. Sure, the 2-inch subtitles quote that I also threw around, from Bong Joon-ho, that hey, once you're okay with the 2-inch subtitle barrier, a lot more things open up. That was one part. That's what I meant. The second part is it, in all honesty, is it entertaining as well? Because, and I said this in another podcast I was at as well, it's okay, it's great that somebody's doing like 4 or 5 hour actual plays, but are you able, if you're telling a long term story, are you able to hold those audiences for long, to be able to watch that in another language? I'm okay with watching Critical Role for 70 episodes. I stopped watching after that, campaign 3 episodes, 70, 80 around, because for the life of me, I do not have enough time in my life. Uh, so, is it entertaining enough to capture the audiences? There are a bunch of friends who are playing, who are voice actors, and who have really good comedic timing as well, and they are able to riff off each other, which is entertaining, honestly, to watch. Even though there are a bunch of white people doing it, they are entertaining. Um uh,
Is that me? Damn, that white guy got moves.
yeah, that might so, uh, that was also part of the reason we decided, like, hey, we're going to do it only 8 episodes. I initially thought of it for doing it only for 4 episodes. So, maybe try doing it short form first, and then maybe expand on it. Doing it in short form will at least lessen your burden to a certain extent. That was it. Those are the two things.
Um, because I am also a person who has to consume a lot of content to make sure that I'm prepared for these, I tend to watch things or to listen to things at 1.25 and 1.5. And so I did that, which is weird to see you all moving at a normal speed, but also the captioning is so fantastic. If you have the ability to read at a quicker speed, that is also one way. So I sat here at my computer every time I was coming to eat, and so I would just sit there and I could watch, and you can still see the emotions, and it's just it is overwhelmingly beautiful. But that is about all the time we have today, and so I encourage everybody to go check out Godkiller QISMAT on YouTube. We have all of the links down in the description if you're watching the VOD. I lost my Twitch page to put the link in the chat. But the thing that we are going to close on is tell us where we can find you, and also what other projects you're working on or things that we can keep an eye out for, so that we can consume more of you on the interwebs. We're going to go backwards this time. I'm spicing it up. Jack.
Oh, right. I'm the back. I'm Meister, Hypester, everywhere. I am a completely non-horny, wholesome streamer on the Twitchness.
Boo.
Make it horny.
I Google Meet Chat. I don't believe you.
Okay. My platform is built on basically simping over my friends. We highlight and get really excited over everyone and everyone else's projects. You come in, take a break, rest up. Right now we're on a Stardew Valley kick. We are doing a one-shot soon, early November, Vampire the Masquerade game from a previous campaign, bringing old players back to bring them, because I miss them and I miss my friends and I want them at my table again. We do have another campaign in the works, and that will be debuted in the next year. It has been on hiatus because I had a massive move from South Africa to Taiwan. Now that's back in the works. We are also currently doing a lot of scheduling and things for a podcast called Madison the Myth, which is technically a kind of on hiatus because there's a lot of paperwork I need to get through and admin I can get through before I can grab my speakers and get that podcast going. But yes, that is what I am, unless you speak to a man, in which case I just play Stardew Valley.
Nothing wrong with that.
Better.
But also give him credit. Sounds like you're doing
亲爱的 Jack，
亲爱的，哦，我是你的亲爱的吗？我都不知道。
They're flirting. They're flirting. I don't know what they're saying, but they're
I don't
flirting.
know.
They're flirting. They're
And I'm here for it if you need a little time.
I am also a voice actor, which is great when it comes to running games.
I love that. All right, Apollo.
I didn't see you come in. Hello there. My name is Apollo. You can find me on the internet at TallNerdApollo. I do voice acting. I do cosplay. I do TTRPG performance. You can give me money and hire me to be your GM. I'll do that. I'll roll some dice for you. We'll do it anytime. We can do it right now. Hey,
Apollo, we should talk. Apollo, we should talk.
Projects.
To your worth, though, we did talk about this before the stream.
For $6.99.
Y'all are out here. So I'm gonna be so real. Y'all are out here selling your feed pics for far too, but not enough. Not enough. Too less. Not enough. Anyway, so where can you find me on stream? On Sundays, I'm gonna go by Irish time. I'm so sorry. On Sundays, starting at 11 p.m. Irish time because they hate me. I'm playing over at Madaloon's table, playing Chains of Asmodeus, where we have my PC, who is an evil Dilf Dragonborn. Love him. Starting next week from 7 p.m. Irish times, you can see me play another variety of pathetic sad boy man, which when Aman saw the art for it, texted me the artwork for it and the artwork for Jose and was like, that's the same guy. It may not have been you. It may have been Chris. One of you two said, this is the same character in two fonts. And I said, don't look at me that way. And a pathetic, sad man who I have described as Jace Talus, Victor, Melmedarda, love child, savior complex, Hunchback of Notre Dame put that man in a tower for 30 years. Anyway, you can see that, and then starting in 2026, hopefully some of my own projects will start getting some heat behind them, and I'll be having my own little channel coming out with a lot of really interesting and very cool, incredible, some of my friends and players, and I can't wait to see all of you in future projects, and that's me, goodbye.
Are you on mute, Nekola?
Sorry. It's about to storm and thunder keeps going off. I apologize. Thanks to you and Spectre, who has been commenting in the chat. Hello. I just had to prove the word DILF in our chat moderation, and I appreciate it now that it is there. Keep saying them so that I can add them to the list.
Oh, Twitch just asked me if this was helpful. If this was helpful.
Yes.
Was this message correctly hidden?
Absolutely.
No, let it out.
Amazing.
Anyway.
Assis. Yeah?
It's me. Hello. You can find me at lesbianing everywhere on the internet. That is lesbian and yearning, because that's all I do with my life.
You do lesbians.
I wish.
No, you're just yearning. What?
I just am looking at Apollo when I say things or do anything. Right. I currently I am on Master Stables Dark Waters. We've been running it for like a while now, almost a couple years. That's usually every Friday, every other Friday, but right now, kind of every other Wednesday. But also, it's all over the place. Just find us. It's fine. You'll see Dark Waters happening at some point. And then I have a podcast now called Unskippable Cutscene. It is where me and my friend Dan talk about video games. That is also on Path of Stables, alternating Sundays. So if it's a Sunday where Qizmat isn't happening, I'm talking about video games. This Sunday I'm talking about furries. Just because we already have the audience here. This Sunday is furries. So among other things. And yeah, I will have a YouTube video out by the end of the month. So I will be a YouTuber, I guess, by the end of the month.
Ooh.
And then hopefully more after that. So that's.
Please like,
Yeah,
follow, and subscribe.
Just find lesbianing. You'll find me somewhere or the other.
With an L at the beginning, because I missed
With
that
an L at the
first
beginning. It is not. I am. Yeah.
too long before that all happened, trying to figure out what your username meant, because I was like, what are they earning? S.
I mean,
What are they
What is
earning?
it earning?
That might be an Irish bank.
Oh, my earnings.
All right. Last but definitely not least, Aman.
Hi, my name is Aman, and you can find me everywhere on social media by that same name, because I'm not that interesting. I don't have that interesting, story behind whatever. Like it's this tall nerd Apollo. He's tall. He's a nerd. He's Apollo. I don't know what you said, Apollo, but zip it. And not interesting as Meister Hypester. I still don't know what the meaning behind that word is, but
I am the
those
master of hype. With
that
extra,
makes
like,
that makes absolutely
syllables.
sense. That makes absolutely sense. Obviously, that's how you speak English. And
Are you tired?
I failed English. Don't
I-
ask me.
I go everywhere by Aman HK, literally because that's not a username anyone asks for, so that I easily get that everywhere. So Aman HK everywhere on YouTube, on Twitch. I don't do Twitch anymore, but that's still there. And I have a few videos coming out on YouTube with regards to TTRPG, interviews with board gamers, with board game companies from India who are producing board games, and all of that. So those are all things that are in the works that are going to be coming out. Also, a video on TTRPG performance with a lot of known names in our community. And you can usually find me either GMing something on Paths to Stables, or talking shit about things that I've seen online in various Discord voice channels. Sometimes I'm in a lot of Discord.
You can also find this show January 9th through 11th at the Intrepid Web Fest. I did.
Oh fuck! Oh, how did I fucking forget
My
about it?
guy. My
put
guy.
it down because that is so exciting.
We got into the inaugural Intrepid Web Fest, and I cannot believe we got. I'm so fucking excited for that, and also excited about reviewing the other shows which are so good.
Yes, so be sure to check out the Intrepid Web Fest in January. There are other people who have been on our community showcase also being featured. Tales Yet Told, Euphoria, which is actually coming up as a showcase, and lots of. You good?
Yeah, I just did a lot of barking at Euphoria. They're pookies.
I love Euphoria.
Yeah, they're good.
They are.
You can also catch me on
doing-
Euphoria
Oh, yeah.
at some point too.
Next Thursday, there's like a second part of a show that I'm doing with them. Just go watch that.
Oh, heck
I will be on Euphoria sometime in the near future. I cannot say when.
We had
But I will
Euphoria
be
on
there.
the
It will be
Internet Tavern.
here in a couple weeks. We have another community showcase
Hey.
in between them with the people with Press Space to Jump, a video game and TTRPG review website, and their upcoming games that they are going to be doing. Also, if you are catching this live, be sure to tune in next weekend for our fall fundraiser. On Saturday, we are running D&D in collaboration with Shard Tabletop and Nick from Scry Society. And then on Sunday, we have a new GM that we have invited to the channel, new to our channel, Tanya, who's going to be running a Kids on Bikes game. Very excited for all of that. We also have, be on the lookout, our casting calls for our Haunted Holiday celebration will be coming up in the next couple weeks. That is all that we have here today. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. I never say that. But thank you
I
again.
can do it for you. Like and subscribe and follow.
Like, subscribe, hit that little notification bell.
I love the hair tuck with no hair. It makes me very happy.
We gotta go. All right.
We gotta
you
go.
all.
You guys are so fucking stupid.
I love it. Have a great night, y'all.
Bye.
Frog.